What an introduction. Now we've got Carl Nerenberg, the illustrious Carl Nerenberg. He's a tonsured reader at St. George. His musical experience includes singing with the Penn State Concert Choir, also Penn State Singers Chamber Choir. Father Anthony Bassolini mentored him in learning how to chant. He performed on various musicals and straight plays. Nadine and Michael are the love of his life. By the way, I don't get this. He never traveled the Silk Route. So Carl, we give you Carl.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, just a minute, Carl. No, Carl, just a second.
What?
No, we have to do this.
We have to do what?
We have to do this. They said we have to do it.
Oh, come on.
We have to. They said we have to do it.
We've never had advertising at one of these.
I want advertising. We have to do it, and then you can get on.
All right, here, take this.
Did we lose Wayne? We lost Wayne.
Well,
That's okay. We have to do this out. Carl is sponsored tonight by Paleologos Inc. Are you tired of minarets, of hearing the word Istanbul? Then we are your one-stop shop for the latest in Byzantine imperial apparel. Shop the items like the shirt Carl is wearing, the double eagle front, the imperial house flag on the back, will send in all directions. Shop online at IstanbulIsConstantinople.com.
I'm so sorry about that. I try to keep commercialism out, but it rears its ugly head. Well, hello. I've always wanted to come into a room like that. That's amazing. Well, hello there. A lot of you are new. So I feel it's my duty tonight to explain a few things that may have been left out of the Jagunda 3-ring binder that you were given. Singing in church can sometimes lead you off into the wilderness. 1 minute everything is organized and running smoothly, everyone's happy, and the next minute you don't know where you are. I have a modest example here. Nadine and I are chanting, and it's Matins, and we're doing the 6 Psalms at the beginning of Matins, and it's Nadine's turn, and she chants, and all of a sudden, everybody's focused in on the words, because what Nadine says is, and my loins were filled with a lonesome disease. Really? Now, in front of a bishop, 6 priests, 3 deacons, and the parish council president. And I, of course, wanted to be supportive and loving, so I turned to her and I said, well, you've picked a hell of a time to tell me. I thought I was being a mensch. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, I want to disabuse you. I think I may have accidentally told some of you that before I was Orthodox, I was a Druid. That is not true. I was a Reformed Jew, which is almost like being a Druid. And I met Nadine at Penn State, and we started dating. Our first date almost killed the whole thing because it was to go see Lawrence of Arabia. I'm in a room with 100 other guys and their dates, and 100 guys are being totally ignored because the girls are, oh Lord, oh Lord. So that almost ended the relationship right there. Finally, she decided to take me home to her Lebanese mother and father. And, you know, that kind of strained courtesy, that politeness that, you know, and there was Ernestine, my future mother-in-law, may her memory be eternal, you know, that smile like, my husband's going to kill someone. I can feel it coming. My future brother-in-law is to my left, going, thank God it's not me tonight. I'm off the hook, you know. And next to me is my future grandmother-in-law, Ernestine's mother, who had glasses about this thick, and who had just sort of was recovering from a lot of illnesses. And, you know, some days she was more lucid than others. And anybody who's different, like red hair, right away she's interested, you know, so she's trying to focus. You know, and I'm going, hello. This is finally, Grandmom says her first words to me. You're left-handed. I go, yes, Grandma, I am. I'm left-handed. Oh, how do you bless yourself? Ernestine is now pouring Pepsi between the glasses. He does, Mom, that's all. Don't worry about it, he does. For the rest of the evening, Grandmom is doing this. No, doesn't work. How have you done that? I ended up sitting in the living room with Grandmom a lot, you know, because, you know, she was high maintenance, and you know how you get impatient with people sometimes, and I was somebody new for her. You know, Carl, sit with Grandma, then we won't kill you. Okay. So I'm sitting there, and we're watching TV. And 1 minute I'm sitting next to this nice, saintly Baba, you know. And then all of a sudden she makes a noise that I had never heard before. Yee! I'm thinking, has she been harpooned? What? Yee is the Arabic word for red alert. For those of you who don't know, if planes are coming in, they all yell yee, and I go, and then she says the following, Ya Allah! Well, thank God I was equipped to handle this situation. Yes, sir. 6,800 years of Jewish history has led me to this moment. You know, I go, Grandma, what's the problem? Did you hear what they said? How can they say that on television? I don't believe it. What did they say? Well, there used to, maybe there still is, a laundry detergent called Biz. I see some confusion amongst the Anglo-Saxon population.
Yes.
Biz is, of course, that soap, that laundry soap, and they were throwing clothes in the Biz bag. Biz is apparently an Arab colloquialism for breast. And she was having a hard time understanding why they were throwing clothes in the Biz bag. I had to be the one to do it. Dear diary, today I talked a 74-year-old Arab woman down off the ledge because of, well, anyway. Now I don't want to give you the impression that weird things only happen in Nadine's family. And I'm not sure I ever told you this one before. It turns out that my dad, Leonard, or as Grandma Sophie would say, Leonard was Christian for 10 minutes. No, seriously, 10 minutes way before I was born. Let me set the scene. It's World War II. My dad is a platoon sergeant. He had been a drill instructor before he went over, which gives you an idea of what my childhood would be like. And all kidding aside, being a Jew at that time and being a drill instructor, you pretty much had to prove yourself every day because there were lots of Christians in your platoon who didn't want to listen to a Jew at all. And my dad made sure that they did one way or the other. So my dad is now a platoon sergeant. They're driving across France with his good friend General Patton. And my dad got wounded and lost consciousness. Sometime later, not knowing how long, his eyes slowly open, and he's looking straight ahead, and there, in a burst of golden light, is the Lord God and Savior Jesus Christ. Right in front of him. He freezes. I mean, nothing in his experience had prepared him for this. And he's there, and he's thinking to myself, my God, it's true. I'm mortally wounded, I guess, or maybe I'm dead. That's it, I'm dead. And there are angels, there are little cherubim dancing around. Then he reaches that most important of theological questions. Would I be sweaty in heaven? And he gives it a lot of thought, and he decides, no, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't need a shave, and I wouldn't be in a uniform that hasn't seen the laundry in 3 weeks. And then his field of vision expands out a little bit more, and he realizes that he's in an army field hospital that had been set up in a Roman Catholic church somewhere in France. And that ended my dad's brief brush with Christianity. Now his mother, Grandma Sophie, was an incredible woman. Something happened between the two of us when I was 8 years old. I am now 58 years old. This, when I think of this, it's as if it happened last weekend. It was Hanukkah. Grandma Sophie gave me 2 shirts for Hanukkah. Wanting to please her, I put on one of the shirts and came downstairs. Grandma Sophie looks up at me mournfully and says exactly this: "What's the matter? You didn't like the other one?" I had a brief moment where I'll go upstairs and I'll put on the other shirt and come down wearing both shirts. And then I could hear it. Don't be a schmuck. You look like an idiot. Go upstairs. Take the shirt off. What's the matter with you? 8 years old. I mean, that kind of trauma lasts your whole life. And that is the pristine essence of Jewish guilt. What Grandma Sophie did at that moment. We have time for one more?
One more. Yeah, I was just sitting here to cue you.
And you did a wonderful job.
Very solid, very solid.
The niece really was gripping all day because I asked her to say the word janissary. And that seemed to upset her, I don't know why. When I was baptized by Father Anthony Basseline, may his memory be eternal, and he was the priest at St. George Church in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Philadelphia. And they had a chanter there. Well, they had a couple chanters there. One was Jimmy Varvaresis. Jimmy was an Albanian And if you've never heard chanting in Albanian, it sounds a little bit like a rhinoceros ramming a steel shed. It's not the most melodious language. Then we had Elias Sadik. Elias had a voice like this, and when he chanted with the Khuri, priest, it was like they had one voice. No. Elias, just to digress for a moment, Elias was a Boy Scout, or as he said, a Boyus Scout, in the old country. And his lifelong ambition was to become a Boy Scout troop leader at St. George in Upper Darby. Well, no self-respecting boy in our parish would go into the woods with Elias Sadik. It's not that he would do anything wrong, it's just that he had the big broad-brimmed hat and shiny brown shoes and brown knee socks. No boy is going to be seen with somebody who's dressed like that. It's just not going to happen. So one day Elias comes up to me in the coffee hour and says, "Carl, give me $5. Well, you just want him to go away, right? You know, $5, here's my watch. Take a check, here you go. I forget about it. Now, about a month later, I start getting mail addressed to C.S. Nerenberg, Cub Scout coordinator. I have not then, nor now, nor ever be interested in coordinating Cub Scouts. And I know exactly what the source is. Elias sent in for a charter for a Boy Scout group for Upper Darby. And now he's in a panic. Why? He got a letter from the Valley Forge Council of the Boy Scouts of America. They're coming to inspect the troop. They're coming to inspect the troop, okay. And I go, Elias, what's wrong with you? We don't have a troop. I wanted to relate to him, you know. That's my we don't have boyus. What are you going to do? Well, I thought what I would do is across the street is St. Lawrence, Roman Catholic Church. I can go over there and borrow their troop. Oh, yes, a little row of blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Where are you from, son? Majala, sir. Anyway, he was the second chanter, and then there was Joe Esteban. Now, Joe knew the tones cold. The problem is he cannot sing at all. So when he does sing, what he lacks in accuracy, he makes up with enthusiasm. So it's sort of like, great. Lord have a mercy, Lord have a mercy, Lord have a mercy. Our church was an ex-Anglican parish, so big stone, with the steeple, red door, right, And every once in a while, English types would come to the door, flowered dresses named Cecily and Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn and Cecily. Hey, Cecily and Gwendolyn and Cecily. This is still an Anglican church. And inside is Lord have a mercy. The Lord's having a massive. What is a massy and why is the Lord having one? There seem to be swarthy people here. People with a tan never seems to quite go away. Lord have a mercy. Well, anyway, one night we're doing Vespers, and Nadine and I always try to head it off at the pass, if you know what I mean. But one night, he snuck by us, and he got a hold of St. Simeon's prayer. And it began. Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart. Father Anthony is at the altar apologizing to God.
I'm really sorry. I know that Carl and Nadine tried to head him off, but we'll work harder, God. We won't let it happen again. Oh, God, we won't.
So now we're just into the